Greetings, fellow investigators, and welcome to our video podcast, Into the Darkness, where my friends and I play the Call of Cthulhu role-playing game. I'm your host, Tom Rayleigh. Our scenario is Freak Show, and it comes as part of a collection of scenarios entitled Tales of the Miskatonic Valley. It's part of Chaosium's popular line of Call of Cthulhu scenarios and is available on Amazon.com. Freak Show was written by Kevin Ross and Todd Woods, with some alterations and updates made by myself, Tom Rayleigh. So now, let's begin our journey into the darkness. The players are ready. Let's begin. Summer is a time when people relax and enjoy more leisure hours. Farmers and other rural folk quickly run out of things to do. Their crops grow in the sun, they get watered. Things won't get busy until the fall harvest. With the summer weather comes the traveling circus. They move from town to town, setting up quickly. Then in the cool of the evening, they put on a show for the local population. Then just as quickly, they pack up and move along. The year is 1923, and all throughout New England, small privately owned carnivals do their best to make a living. But their wandering way of life is slowly diminishing. Carnival life is not easy, and those who are drawn to it are not usually charitable. Struggling for survival means taking advantage of every situation. Some join the circus because they have a talent and they wish to be seen, while others have no talent at all, except for being stared at by morbidly curious onlookers. A special meeting of the officers of the Arcane Society for Arcane Investigation has been called to order by Ted Hewitt, the president of the organization. Something serious was being discussed by the council, and suggestions were being made on how to proceed. Just outside the meeting, just outside the chamber door, sat 10 key members of the inner circle. They knew why they were there, but they didn't know the details. They knew they were about to be sent on assignment. A few minutes later, and the doors opened. Officers filed out, and 5 of the inner circle members were asked inside. You were not. 10 minutes elapsed, and the first group came out and walked past you, quietly whispering something. You think you might have heard cold water, or maybe black water. In any case, a moment later, and you and the remaining members were called into the room. Professor Hewitt sat behind his desk and motioned for you to take a seat. Next to him sat a rather lovely woman who you had seen from time to time, but you didn't know her name. Ted cleared his throat. Thank you all for coming. Before we get to the details of your assignment, I would like you to meet Mrs. Elizabeth Coates. She's the reason why we're here today. Please introduce yourself. Let's start with the ladies. Leonore.
Oh, good evening. I am Lenora Mason, librarian. I actually work here at the Miskatonic University, and I also have my own private library. It's nice meeting you all.
Gwendolyn, how about you?
I chuckle, and I look around the room, and I say, you all should know who I am. I'm Gwendolyn Jones, the spiritualist from Boston. Time to time I come up here and I do some private meetings with clients, but I didn't expect a call from the Arcane Society so soon.
Jackie?
Well, I am a writer. You might know me by my book, Fields of Fire. It was about my father.
I've
During the Great War.
I page to it now and again. You have quite the skill.
Oh, thank you.
Paul.
Good evening. Good afternoon. My name's Paul Smithson. I'm a local psychologist. I practice here in town.
And Michael?
I guess that just leaves me. Michael McManus. I'm a police detective, formerly, and now I run my own private investigation firm. I guess I've been called here today because of my deductive powers.
Now then, Mrs. Coates is a special member of our society. As you know, each of you possesses skills and abilities that make you valuable members of the Arcane Society. Mrs. Coates' unique gifts came to our attention about 6 years ago. Without wasting too much time, let's simply say that she has a strong psychic sensitivity. I know what your first reaction will be to that statement. However, we're not here to test her abilities. Over the past 6 years, she has more than convinced us. And in fact, the Society has come to rely on her gift when it manifests itself. Some of you have begun to realize that there are dark forces in the world that sometimes have to be dealt with. Elizabeth seems to act as a kind of warning beacon, a call to attention when something around us needs some serious attention. Elizabeth, my dear, why don't you relate what you've seen? The woman straightens herself, she smiles, and she begins to speak in a soft, melodious voice. I have not been able to sleep soundly for nearly 2 days because of the noise. She closes her eyes. Instead of finding rest behind my eyelids, I see things I don't fully understand. It's a kind of puzzle. And I hear sounds. They feel confused. Something, not myself, wonders its strangeness. She is too warm, almost hot. The light hurts. The sounds are too sharp. They hurt. She feels it's like trying to understand a book in a foreign language, or to find the name for something that you've never seen before. It doesn't understand, and it screams. It screams. It screams. I can't sleep for the screaming. It's all right, my dear. Investigators, our officers have questioned Mrs. Coates extensively and analyzed the data as best they can. We think it prudent to investigate multiple venues. We've identified a number of events that correspond with the onset of Mrs. Coates' insomnia. They may be false leads, they may be dead ends, but they need to be explored. 2 days ago, the Nichols Carnival came to town, and it was then that our Mrs. Coates began picking up these signals. It's your assignment to investigate anything strange or unusual at the carnival and take whatever steps necessary to resolve the situation. I think it's prudent that you try to make friends there, but don't let on that you're investigating them unless you honestly think it necessary. The Society will cover any expenses you may accrue, including refreshments. Also, this may take more than 1 day. I believe that tonight is the last night they'll be in Arkham. You might check their schedule when you get there as to where they're going next. Any questions?
Michael stands up and he kind of like straightens his clothing and in a matter-of-fact manner puts on his hat and says, well, I don't see any point of dilly-dallying around here. We might as well get this over with, don't you think? Ladies, if you wouldn't mind. And he puts his hat back on and gestures towards the door as if to say the ladies first.
I'll mention that it's about noon right now, and you've seen carnival posters around town, and you know for a fact that it doesn't like open its gates until 2 in the afternoon. So you've got a couple of hours, but
Okay.
yeah, if you have any more questions, I can try to answer them.
Are you sure that it's not some sort of delirium? I wrote many stories and poems about soldiers going crazy.
As I say, we're familiar with Mrs. Coates' abilities. So, and we don't know that this is leading to the carnival at all. It's just that the carnival happens to have come to town the same day.
Okay.
And so we've sent another team, obviously, to look for some other things that might be causing this problem.
Okay.
I
Best place to look,
suppose
sure.
I suppose I'll ask the question that none of us are asking. Who were the 5 members that came in before us?
Don't ask that question. You know them all. They got assigned to something else.
All right.
That's neat to know.
And Hewitt says, we'd like, don't worry about that because we want you to remain objective. So don't let what's going on there confuse you with what you're going to do. So, go to the carnival and have fun. For the most part, you usually stumble upon the truth.
Can you tell us, are they investigating the same thing as us, or you're just telling us not to worry about it?
Well, they're investigating what Mrs. Coates has said, but the council has come up with other things for them to look into that might be involved.
So we might run into them here or there.
And that's not likely.
Is there something in particular that you want us to look out for?
We don't know.
Okay.
I mean, some of you have experience, and Gwendolyn, I believe you used to work for a circus, didn't you?
When I lived in Michigan on my way to Massachusetts, yes, I worked in a circus for quite some time.
So you probably know at least a little bit about how they run. Perhaps that'll make you that'll give you an in with them.
That should be very helpful.
Yeah.
Circus folk also get around. Perhaps I know someone there.
Were you the bearded woman?
Yes, I was, Jeff.
Now that's not a way to talk to a lady.
She worked for a circus. She's no lady.
Well, I'm of the same mind as Michael over here. If there's nothing else that you guys need to, or you ladies need to ask, why don't we get started? Sooner the better.
Yes.
So I guess, is there any pre-existing history with this carnival that anybody knows about?
We've never had. I mean, they come around every year, but we've never heard of anything odd going on there before.
Okay.
Do you know who runs the circus?
Yeah, I believe it's a Mr. Nichols.
I write it down.
Ted, I think it's Ted Nichols.
Okay,
It's
yeah,
the
I write.
It's the Nichols. He's the owner and operator. It's the Nichols Carnival. You
Yeah,
can
I
see,
can
you
talk
see
to
the
him
posters.
first.
It's like I think there's posters all over town. I believe they're like in Potter's Field on the western end of Arkham right now.
Okay.
Elizabeth, do you mind? Can I ask you some of the words you were talking about? You kind of went back and forth between feeling like you're in trouble, not necessarily you, but your visions or whatever you would like to call them. Kind of went back and forth between like you're in trouble or you're feeling pain versus something else external that could be causing pain or something. Is there any way? Can you clarify that?
All I can say is that when I close my eyes, I don't find rest. I see and I hear, and it's as if it's me, and it's as if it's not me. It feels alien to me, but at the same time, it feels like I'm experiencing what it is. I suppose it could be some sort of telepathy that I'm picking up on.
And so do you feel this is like somebody might be in trouble reaching out, maybe?
It's... In order for somebody to reach out for help, they'd have to understand their situation. And this doesn't feel like that. Like I say, it feels like trying to read a book that is in a foreign language you've never seen. It's like trying to describe something, an object that you have no word for. It doesn't make any sense, and it's very... I don't know how to say it otherwise. It's not clear.
I don't know. It sounds like you're experiencing maybe through the eyes of someone that was just born.
Hmm?
Strange sounds, strange sensations.
I don't know, but perhaps, yes, maybe that's the case.
Well, boys, I think the circus can tell us more.
Mm-hmm.
Best to get there as soon as possible.
I agree. I think we should head out. I mean, it's lunchtime, and I haven't had anything to eat, so we can at least stop by and get some food before we get to this carnival.
All right.
If we need to discuss anything more to kill the time before it opens, we can do it.
One last question. Do you have any idea how long we'd be away?
Well, you're not leaving Arkham today, but my guess is the circus isn't going far. It's just you'll have to drive a little farther each day as it moves.
Yeah, I see.
What year is it again?
1923.
And it's summertime, you said, right?
Yes. Circuses don't operate in the winter, obviously.
Yeah, I'm ready when you are.
All right.
I think we have a good group.
Yeah. All right.
Well, thank you, gentlemen. Have fun at the carnival.
No, I know I will.
It may be all that you get out of it is some fun at the carnival.
Yes, but there's going to be plenty of children there. She says that with dismay. All right, let's go.
All right. So you leave the headquarters of the Arcane Society, and you literally could either drive or walk. I don't know. You guys got to come up with some transportation. You probably have transportation. You all live there.
I have a car.
I have a car as well.
I think we all should have a car, so it doesn't matter.
Okay. Now I'll mention once again. It's just about noon, and you can see there's posters here and there, so you know where it is. You also know that You also know the costs and so forth.
5 cents. It's like 5 cents to go into a car.
Well, in big letters on there, it's 10 cents. 10 cents entrance fee.
I remember back in the day, it was only 2 cents to get into a carnival. Times are changing.
Inflation is crazy nowadays.
But and it says it's open from 2 o'clock until 11 o'clock. So you've got some time if you want to prepare or do something, or
I have something I'd rather do.
As Michael McManus said, get something to eat.
I like the way you think.
All right, so you head to the local diner. You get yourself something to eat. And do you guys want to make any plans?
I am writing a letter as I'm eating to Jeremy, just in case I don't come back from this.
Okay.
I won't mention anything about the Arcane Society or anything. I'll just be like, I love you. I got something I gotta do here. I gotta go to the circus and investigate this and that for my book. Some of these people are sketchy, and if I don't come back, I love you. And I'm just like, Becky.
Are any of you armed?
Not at the moment, but I was going to swing by my house and change my clothing for something more suited for the circus, and carry a little purse with my pistol in it.
I didn't.
Also, I'll leave a note for Charlie, letting him know that I'll be out this evening, and I'll be going to the circus.
Okay. Thomas, I didn't hear what you said.
I am armed. I have the a little lady pistol shoved into my boot,
Okay.
and then I have in my fur jacket I have a small shiv, a small knife.
Okay. Are you going to wear a fur jacket in the middle of the summer? It's probably
No, she is.
probably 85 degrees.
No, she. Yeah, she is. She is.
She's cosplaying.
Yeah,
Cosplay.
she's an appearance maker. You know, she doesn't want attention, but she wants to know that people understand that she is the important one here.
Okay.
That everyone else is kind of just they're the ones behind her. She's in the front. She doesn't want, she's not asking for attention. She garners it. You need to respect her.
Okay.
I just have a black jacket.
Okay. And Mikey, I imagine your character has a pistol somewhere on his. Yeah. Okay.
Last pervert that tried to lay their hands on me got a good stomping in their nuts area.
Wow, the mouth on Jacqueline. All right, so you guys got to drive out there?
Yeah.
Do we all know each other from before?
Yeah, I mean, you guys have. Maybe you've worked together, maybe not. You guys are all part of the inner circle of the Arcane Society.
Well, my character was rescued. So one of the characters could have been somebody who rescued me. So.
It would have been a senior member.
Okay.
None of you are senior members.
Okay.
I'll say as we're walking out, Dr. Dawkins happens to pass by, and she says, "Oh, hello, Doctor. It's been a while, And he says, "Oh, yeah, I remember you." And they have a quick conversation, and he hits.
No.
No.
No, you don't even know if Dr. Dawkins is alive. Please, Dr. Dawkins is in another scenario.
Yeah, but this is the summertime, and they set off in the winter. That's
you don't know if you're going to survive that scenario. So how do you cannot mention whether your character is there. You can't talk me into letting you survive.
Okay. No problem.
It's the same reason I didn't mention Frank.
Okay.
You'll create a time paradox.
Actually, I thought this happened afterwards because we started.
Well, it is technically different because you guys are in the winter in one game and you're in the summer here, but we don't know whether those characters.
Okay, I'm thinking it was
it's the summer of the same year.
Oh, okay. I'm thinking it was the summer previous. My mistake.
All right, so that was all meta. We'll block those walls off. Okay.
I apologize.
All right, so
strange man looking you on the street saying, "I'm sorry, you have me confused with someone else."
All right, so I'll just meta a little bit. I was going to mention Frank, and then I thought, wait, I don't know if Frank's alive or dead at this point. So what do I say?
Apologies.
Okay. All right, so you arrive, and the carnival is set up in, basically it was a fallow field of one of the farmers, the Potter family. They just rented it to the carnival. The carnival has been there for 2 days, and tonight is its last night. At the front gate, you have an option. You can pay 10 cents. It was a lure on the poster, 10 cents to get through the gate. Okay, if you want to go to the big show, the ring show, it's $1.25, but that includes getting through the door, through the gate. Plus the other shows that are going on, those are all separate. So. Once again, all of your expenses are paid for, so.
Oh, well, yeah. Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
Can I
come to expect from a circus that everything is to get money out of you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the point.
Do you mind if I back up for a second?
Mm-hmm.
Either at lunch or on our drive over, I wanted to address the group and kind of get everyone's input as to, do they have any first impressions? Do they feel like, are we off on a wild goose chase? Are we going to rescue somebody? I'm just looking for first impressions.
From my understanding and experience with the Arcane Society, it's never really a wild goose chase. I'm just kind of nervous of what we might find. So,
To be fair, psychics aren't real. So, that's my 2 cents.
You haven't come across one original in your travels?
I guess not. I guess she hasn't. But I'm
So psychic, she would have seen it all coming. If not, it gives me something to work on for my book.
well. I don't think it's as you would think it is. I mean, there are a lot of fakes out there who swear up and down that they're psychics, and then they're the real deals. I've never experienced a psychic, but I'm kind of hesitant of being really, really skeptical. I keep my mind open, basically.
You never know until we go there, I guess.
Yeah.
All right. I looked everywhere to sort of find a picture of a carnival, but there's no real adequate one. So you can just well imagine what it looks like. Now, this carnival has a few tents, but the main show is not in a tent; it's open air. What I'll show you first is because you can see the posters. I didn't really make up a poster, but this is Ted Nichols, the ringmaster. There you go. So that's he's on all the posters, so you know what he's gonna look like.
Does he twirl his mustache like a villain?
Not on the posters. Also, when you pay for your tickets, they give you a little printed map. Okay, and I'll go ahead and let you see that.
Okay.
Now you are coming in from the right-hand side there, where it's the E for entrance.
Yeah. The gate there.
If you look at the little key at the bottom, there's E for entrance, and then there's upside down E for exit.
Oh, okay.
And then there's employees only area, and then there's ticket booths.
Okay.
Is there a way that we could just pay one particular fee for all the shows? Do they have like it all in a bundle?
No.
No.
You will get entrance, and you will get the ring show, but like the sideshow and the Mystic and the O'Dowd's World of Wonders, those are all actually they're privately owned. So
Okay.
when you go there, you're paying those. Now, of course, there's a lot of people there. There's a lot of noise going on. Imagine, if you will, that you're coming through those gates where the E is. Mm-hmm. So on your right-hand side, you've got the sideshow. And it's a separate little tent, and there's a little stage there, and there's a talker on the stage, and he's, step right up, ladies and gentlemen, we've got a show starting today, and he says, you're going to see amazing acts, and a gentleman steps up onto the stage who's dressed in a tuxedo and a top hat, and he performs a couple little things of magic, and basically they say, just 15 cents to come inside and see the show. Now that's going on the one side. On the other side, you have the midway, and the midway, those are all of your games of fortune. You've got the ring toss, the baseball throw, the penny pitch, the shooting galleries, the wheel of fortune, things like that. And then a little farther on the side of the sideshow, you've got food being sold, and all of that. Then farther on, now what they normally call that is the front yard. Okay, and then where you see the ring show and the other stuff, the menagerie and the others, that's the backyard. You can't actually see into where the ring show is. There's a a canvas wall around it, and there's 2 entrances, one on either side. But that's sort of blocked for view, so that when the show goes on, that you have to pay to get in to see it. So what would you guys like to do?
I want to go over the Midway because she's having memories that she was like a kid again. So she's like, "Okay, boys, we need to go to that Midway, and I'm gonna win all of this stuff. I'm gonna get the biggest teddy bear ever. I mean."
I should mention too, there are clowns wandering around, doing balloon animals and making people laugh. And
I suppose I'm going to go see my old friend Alexandro. Maybe he'll give me a fortune.
I want to check out the World of Wonders.
Well, why don't you guys kind of stick together?
Okay. What does everyone want to do?
I want to go and win me a teddy bear.
Okay, well, how about this? Why don't we blend in for a while, meld into the crowd, and then maybe we'll be able to hear something.
Yeah.
I suppose so.
So, and then I turn to the guys and I say, so which one of you strapping lads are going to win us some stuffed animals?
I'll give it a shot.
You ain't ever seen luck like Jackie here.
Pretty good with that cap gun, the cork gun.
The cork gun. Okay, so you guys start doing some games of chance, and let's say, okay, let's see, Paul. You're at the gun shooting range. These things cost you maybe 1 penny. It depends on the game, but most of them are 1 penny to 5 pennies to play.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't you try your shooting skill, your firearms?
You can take.
Can I play with him?
Yeah,
Hey,
we'll go
alright.
one at a time.
Okay.
Pass.
Will I roll 25% for rifle?
I passed actually.
How well did you pass?
14 out of 25, so regular success.
Yeah, no, you didn't.
I made 25 on the dot.
You have to get at least half or better. Because the games are rigged.
Man, I could have swore I had that aim just right.
Let me give it a try. Yeah, I got a 29 out of 35, so no.
Okay.
I'm like this gun is
Mind if I give it a shot?
Sure.
Show us how it's done.
We're getting a strong echo.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I think that's better.
Yeah, I don't hear an echo now. Okay. So let's say that you spend 45 minutes or so. You've now learned a few things. You've learned that the ring show happens at 7:00 p.m. And right now it's just about 3:00.
All right. Let's head over to the psychic. When you said you wanted to get your fortune read, right?
Yeah, and it's perhaps possible that he knows something.
Yeah, it sounds like fun. Let's try that out.
Yeah.
However, like I said, he may not know about our psychic. As I said, psychics are fake. And I walk down the midway, and I start to head towards the Alexandro the Psychic's tent.
And I try to keep up pace with Gwendolyn.
Okay.
And at some point try to overtake her.
And it's crowded and it's noisy, and there's children and there's adults and there's farm people, and everybody's having fun. You start to notice too that there are they're not exactly like security people, but they're obviously people who belong to the carnival that are just making sure that nobody gets out of hand.
Okay. No babies, though, right?
Well, I mean, there's maybe moms carrying their babies or whatever. It's a family thing. Now, you also know, I mean, you know this from experience because you've been to the circus before. And you also know that there are parts of the circus that they don't let children in. You know, especially like some of the things in the sideshow. And some of the things in you know, there's just parts that, yeah, you want to see something more adult than, you know, what's going on. There are, for instance, posters on the sideshow that advertise, you know, a magician, a ventriloquist, an exotic dancer, you know, and they'll say like, you know, adults only. All right, so you head over toward Alejandro, and there's a few people ahead of you. And after they go, you guys are looking around. You're there for a bit, and as you enter the tent, Alejandro, he's a fairly young man. He's dressed in a turban. He's got makeup on to actually make him look darker than he actually is, and he's like, "Come, my friends, have a seat. I shall read your..." Gwendolyn?
I give a smile, and I take a seat. I'm guessing it's a stool in front of his little table.
Gwendolyn, you know that his real name is Pete Connor.
Yeah. I say, Pete, you're still doing sideshows?
Well, yeah. And he gets up really quick and he walks over and he like closes the curtain so that people outside don't hear what's going on. And he says, "What are you doing here?"
I heard that the carnival was in town, and I also heard that you'd be a part of it.
But don't you live in Boston?
Like I said, sometimes I have, like I told these people, sometimes I have clients up here who are willing to pay more than the average person in Boston. You know, happen to be in town.
Who are your friends?
Oh, just some friends I met here at the carnival. This over here is Michael. This is Paul. And of course, we have Lenora and Jackie to my left.
You might know me by my book, Fields of Fire, bestseller.
Well, I'm sorry I don't get much of a chance to do any reading. Now, as you're doing this, he's like taking off his freaking hot robe, and he set his thing, and he's like mopping his head. It's like, hey, you guys are giving me a chance to take a little break here. So he's like, so you're just having a fun day at the carnival, I guess?
Fun day at the carnival. I hear that you're leaving tomorrow, right?
Yes. Yeah, next stop is Bolton, I believe.
Bolton. How far is that?
No, not far. Maybe, an hour from here.
Oh, really?
Yeah. They'll pack everything up tonight and set it up in the middle of the night, and it'll be all ready for us when we get there in the morning.
So last time we were together, you were in Pennsylvania with me. I was 20. So what are you still doing in the carnival circuit?
You know, it's bachelor's life.
Just got stuck here? Is the money any good anymore, or is it still shit?
Well, I don't know. You know, maybe if I could at least make a name for myself, there are other circuses, but right now Nichols is a pretty good guy.
So he does treat you well?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Well, that's good.
He's a fair man.
You're a nice guy, you know. You deserve to be headlining the ring show. You're so freaking charismatic.
Like I've been married to a different woman for the every year for the last 4 years. So yeah, I'm doing pretty good.
That's pretty good. And I kind of laugh, and I turn to the others, and my happy face has shifted. Like we're friends, we're talking, and now I'm looking at them. Like, are you gonna ask your questions, or am I gonna keep talking?
I just want to clarify that by that, Well, I'll clarify it if you. Well, Gwendolyn would understand what I meant by being married 4 times. I won't say it unless somebody else asks. But
Yeah.
Married
Someone?
4 times.
Thank God my sweet Jeremy ain't like that.
and
Yeah,
he says, well, he says it's not like what you think. See, we carnies wander around all the time, and in the winter, we hold up somewhere, while because there's nothing to do. The carnival's done. We call it putting it in the barn. They put all the stuff away. But we get lonely when we're traveling around during the summer, so we usually hook up with somebody, and we call that a sort of a summer wedding. So
They're called season spouses.
It's like rolls her eyes.
Michael, he like laughs and chuckles under his breath, and he says, "I find myself doing that every other night nowadays."
well, we usually tend to stick together pretty well. It's a kind of a carny wedding, and nothing this year though so far.
Oh, I can't imagine anyone, not falling for you. And I kind of roll my eyes.
Well, it's like the prettiest girl in the place is Effie, and she's a bitch.
Reffy. I don't know her.
Well, if you help down the bearded lady and shaved her, she might not look so bad.
Yeah, no. The bearded lady, oh my God. Yeah. She would be an ugly man if she shaved that beard. No, I'm talking about Heavy Effie.
Heavy Effie.
Yeah.
So I've got a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
It's carny life. You guys must see some crazy stuff, huh?
Well, yeah.
Always on the move, and the weirdest stuff comes up.
If you want the weird stuff, you want the freak show.
What about you? I mean, but what about your experience? What's the craziest, most insane thing that you can say you've ever seen or done?
He's not a narc, Peter.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
So anyways, you guys have made friends. And after a couple more minutes, he's like, well, it's nice talking to you, but I do have to earn a living. So why don't you, if you want to hang out after the circus closes, although we're going to be, I mean, they're going to be packing up. So maybe, we're going to be in Bolton next. So if you travel out there, we can hang out together.
No, that's
Sure.
If you come in the morning, I'll tell them to let you in. From in the morning before 2 o'clock, everything is.
Excellent. Would we have then access to the camp, or is that something that the normals can't go to?
The camp out in the back.
Yeah.
Well, why would you want to go up there? That's where all the roustabouts and the laborers live. I mean, you can go back out there if you want, but
Oh, I thought that
we're
you'd be at
where the
camp.
personnel are.
Oh, all right.
You want me to show you the map again?
Oh, I see the map. Yeah, I see it. It's I took a picture.
Oh,
I'm like
good,
Jeff
good,
now.
Good.
Yeah.
Does anybody else want to take a picture?
Yeah, I just got.
Yeah, that would be a good idea.
Let me go ahead and pull it up again.
Where's the print screen button?
Oh, so like personnel would be like their sleeping quarters?
Yeah, those are little. Those you've probably seen them in movies. The little tray. They're not really. They're like little. I can't think of the word. Like little wagons.
They're like box carts.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
On the outside where the camp is, those two big things. Those are the big trucks and things that they haul everything around in.
Oh, right. Okay. On the bottom.
Yeah.
Can I get a sense from looking around? Does the carnival look like it's well funded, or is it like it's seen better days?
It's not brand new, but it's not like in disrepair. It's they've got it down to pretty much like a science. They can effectively tear the whole thing down and send it to the next location and put it up again before the sun comes up, which is exactly what will happen. Actually, what happens is the personnel go into their little trailers, and the crew and the roustabouts and all that, they pack everything up and they'll take it to Bolton tonight and set it all up, and then early in the morning the personnel will drive over there, or they'll take their carts over there, and so it'll be all set up for them when they get there. They're performers. They don't have to do the frickin' setup stuff.
Yeah, they're the talent. You don't piss off the talent. You treat the talent.
And of course, some of them are treated better than others. All right. You guys need the map anymore? Nope. All right. So he says his goodbyes, and as you're walking out, he suddenly says something like, "So now you know you will be famous someday. Your fortune is told."
Famous.
And then he immediately invites, "Come inside to the next person. I shall read your fortune." And
as we're walking out, like when the curtain opens, I'll like flip him a quarter or something, like to show that we're like paying for the time that we spent there.
Okay.
And then I look over at my companions and be like, "Well, that was a whole lot of nothing. So where to next?"
Well, not necessarily.
At least we got a friend now.
We have access to the camp now.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Quinn.
There we go.
You know, I've had to disguise myself as a man before. I could have easily done that, but I guess that's much easier now.
So, where to now?
I wanted to check out the
World of Wonders.
yeah, that place.
Roads.
Okay. At the moment, it doesn't look like anything is happening, or maybe they're in the middle of a show, because it's usually you want to watch to see if there's a guy on the stage talking people into coming in. That's when the sort of the show starts. But there's nothing going on there at the moment. I mean, there are people everywhere, but it's not just like an open thing to walk in.
Okay.
Is there someone on the sideshow stage?
Yeah, the Barker's there, and he's got a crowd of people, maybe 20 or 30 people that are getting ready to go inside.
Well, let's go and look at that then.
Okay. When you get there, of course, there's tickets. It costs you, what was it? Sideshow, 15 cents.
Okay.
And there's benches inside and a little stage set up. And once the show starts, there are a number of performers, and they're not very good. They're mediocre. This is not the big show. The big show's in the big ring, but it's so-so.
It was a waste of 15 cents.
So what you've got
It's a sideshow.
Yeah.
So what you've got first is you've got Google the Magician, and he pulls a few rabbits out of hats and stuff like that. Then you got Snam and Snarky, the ventriloquist, and his dummy. They get heckled.
Now, which one is the dummy?
Sam's the dummy because he thinks that he can make a living doing ventriloquism in a circus.
Yeah.
Snarky's the smart one. He just sits there on his lap and goes like that. Then there's this sort of a little show where there's like a lady lion tamer, except that she's lion taming a cow, and the cow is, of course, very obviously two people in a costume, sort of dancing around. And then there's there's a guy who comes out doing handstands. He's actually pretty talented, but he doesn't ever walk on his feet. He walks around the stage on his hands, and he balances on one hand and then the other. And And so that's kind of interesting. And then they kind of like make an announcement that if there's any kids, they need to go outside. You know, if next part's a little bit for the adults, and it's announced that they're going to have an exotic dancer, and she's not quite as exotic as you would expect from all the hype. She's a bit overweight. It's almost like she's trying to do ballet. And her name is Shusha. And you get the distinct impression that she probably does drugs because she's not entirely there. Okay. And after that, it's more or less over with. And you've probably been in there for an hour. It's hot. It's sticky. But we'll just say that it's about 4:30 in the afternoon.
All right. Is the World of Wonders show open now?
Well, they kind of time it that way. So as you walk out, you can see that there's somebody over there, and they're barking at the people. And it's a rather tall, thin man. He's obviously of Irish descent because he's got dark red hair, and he's got big splotchy freckles on his face. And he's wearing a hat, and he's going at the audience like he's got a lot of charm and a big smile, and he's trying to get people to come inside. Step right over here if you'd like to come in. The charge for the freak show is 50 cents.
I hope it's better than that other side show.
And it's advertised as being a true 10-in-1. It's 10 things in one show.
Okay. I'll pay.
Yeah, I'll pay. Yeah.
But I look back at Gwendolyn and sorry, what was her name?
Jacqueline?
Jackie. Yeah, everyone just calls her Jackie for short. So.
Yeah, I say to you two, like, perhaps this was a wild goose chase. I think you two were right. But it's a day out. It's on the Arcane Society, so let's just have fun now.
That's what I like to think of it. Besides networking.
Yeah. I wish I would have just won that teddy bear, though.
Yeah, it's a shame that they're all rigged and that they're all crooked people here.
Well, blatant Paul.
Well, we don't say that out loud, Jackie.
Well, no, not right out loud, obviously.
The day's still young. We can go back.
Well, yeah. Maybe.
Michael whispers to the ladies as they're talking about this. You guys might want to hold it on that the talk about the carny folk, or you might be needing to watch your pocketbooks a little bit later.
Yeah.
But I never.
The talker up on the stage, he of course, they have like a little preview, and of course his preview is the bearded woman. She's bearded. She's got a good beard. And yeah, she's pretty. She would make an ugly man. You'll see her in a second when you go inside. But that's to sort of tempt you to come inside and see. So, anyways, he says, "All right, ladies and gentlemen," and they don't let kids in this one. And he warns the ladies now. Ladies, you are going to see terrifying wonders in here, things that'll make you very upset if you're not hardened like a man.
Are you saying that I'm weak-willed because I'm a woman, sir?
I'm saying that I've seen men pass out. I've seen men faint in this once they step through these doors.
Oh, you've never seen men faint the way they faint for me.
Perhaps you'll be our 11th exhibit someday. Now.
Yeah, it should be. Have you read my book, Fields of Fire? Bestseller.
Whoops, where's my thing? That's the wrong one. Oh, right. All right. So, by the way, you've learned from his spiel that he is he's Lucius Dots O'Dowd. Dots because of the dots. Okay. And this is his show, The World of Wonders. Okay. You step through the door. The curtains open up. You step through. And this is arranged so that, imagine, if you will, there's almost like 10 stages. One on this, 5 on this side, 5 on that side. So you're going to see them each thing. The curtains are all closed, so you're going to be surprised when you see them.
Is it dark in here? How's the lighting?
It's low lighting, and
for the effect, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
For the shock effect. And they do have electricity, I should mention. So they were like carnivals were like one of the first things to realize the value of hooking into the electric grid, because it attracts attention. Okay, so he takes you to the first curtain, and he says, gentlemen, hold on to your hats. We have here a man from the exotic parts of Africa, where the people there actually consume and eat fire itself. And he opens up the curtain, and just as he does, there's this blast of flame, a big billowing blast of flame that comes out, and he introduces Redondo, the fire eater. I am going to go ahead and pull this up because you're going to see these one after the other, but I put more than one on a thing. So let's see. Okay, so the first thing you get to see is Redondo the Fire Eater. And he puts on a little show, and you can see that there are buckets of sand and buckets of water nearby just in case he lights the tent on fire.
Yeah.
Which has probably happened a couple of times before.
In between, like, the Redondo and next act, Michael leans over to one of his fellow group members and is like, "You think that's impressive? You should have seen me in Tijuana 10 years ago." The food down there, he's like, "I'll show you spit and fire," except it was out of the other end.
So Redondo finishes his act with a big blast of flame over your heads. And by the way, you're all standing because you walk along as this goes on.
Would it be just us, or like, are we part of other people in the group?
There are maybe 20 other people in there, and they're almost all men.
Okay. Can I also, Tom, I don't know if I need to roll or not, but I'd like to try to take notice of their demeanor while they're on stage as to, do they seem glad to be there? Do they seem have to be working, or are they just miserable?
There's no way to really distinguish between what they're really feeling and their show.
Okay.
Because they are trying to make money, and so part of the show is to pretend like you're really happy.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
It's kind of the sad thing about the the carnival life.
I thought maybe with my training I might be able to see through that.
Well, go ahead and do a Go ahead. You know what? No, because there's just not enough here to go on.
Okay, sure.
You're seeing a show, so you're seeing what they want you to see.
Right. Okay.
So do we get them like as the show goes on, or This is just a flat fee of what we pay.
I couldn't quite hear that. Sorry.
I said, as you go through the show, is it a commonplace for people to tip the individual performer?
No.
Or, okay.
No. Yeah, you've paid your dues, and it was more than you can afford. Well, it's more than most people can afford, but it's yeah. So, anyways, the fire guy stops, and then his curtain closes, and behind you, that curtain closes, or the guy opens up that curtain, and you got the bearded lady. And he introduces her. Her name is Lisa Myers. She's 28 years old, and her hair started growing from the time she was a teenager. And of course, some of the farmer folk that are near you, maybe some of those King's Porters, they're they make funny comments, and she barks right back at them. She's kind of soft. She's kind of nasty. Well, funny and nasty. They'll make some comment about, it'd be like sleeping with a man, and she'd be like, I don't know, whatever her response to be with something like that.
She's probably heard it all.
She's heard it all. She's heard everything there is to hear. Now, the next one, he says, all right, now hold on to your horses. We have a man who hasn't eaten in 20 years for our next show. And he takes you across, and you end up seeing, let's see, this one, the first guy, the living skeleton. He looks like he's probably about 70 or 80 years old, and it's disgusting. I'd like you guys to do a little bit of a sanity check on this one.
Okay.
Because he does look like he hasn't eaten in 20 years.
I make that.
Make it.
Now, as I'm a new player, when rolling sanity, what am I trying to roll?
Well, I didn't say sanity, I said constitution, didn't I?
No, you said sanity.
Did I? I'm sorry, I meant constitution. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
I make that as well.
I make it 49 out of 50. So
You're always trying to get under the number.
Yeah.
Answer your question.
So you would just roll the number for your constitution is, what is it? It's a 50, so you just need to roll below a 50.
Right.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right, I made it.
And if you go above a 50, you get a little queasy just looking at it. It's disgusting. But he's like he seems in good spirits. He makes funny comments like there's maybe a fat guy in the audience, and he's like, well, I can see who ate all of my food. And he says, this is what you get if you don't eat your vegetables. And then, of course, that act ends, and you go to the next one, and it's Heavy Evie. And basically, Evie's not even smiling. She's sitting on a kind of a couch, and she's stuffing her face with food. And once again, there's nasty comments from the crowd, and she, says nasty things right back at them. And actually, one of the patrons is making fun of her and squealing like a pig, and she starts to get really angry, and she sort of tries to get up out of the couch to get at him, and she can't get out of the couch, and they're just laughing harder, and it's quite disgusting.
Yeah, I'm more disgusted by their actions.
I'm almost sagging by the whole situation. Like, this person is totally gonna die.
Yeah.
I actually look over to the people who are really giving it to her hard, and I go, hey guys, why don't you cool it down? It's just for entertainment, but I think you're taking it a little bit too far.
Okay. Well, they sort of say something nasty back at you, and you realize these probably are, from their accent, they probably are from Kingsport, and they have a reputation for having foul mouths anyway, at least in your opinion. So anyways, and then of course her act is done, and then behind you, the stage opens, and a little tiny guy He's only about 3.5 feet high. He comes out and he does like a little Russian dance, and oddly enough, people are kind of snickering and laughing at it, but he doesn't smile. And when he's done, he stops and just sort of stares at them for a second, and then reaches in and pulls out a cigar and pops it in his mouth and lights it on fire, and just like looks over at O'Dowd like, all right, close the fucking curtains. I'm done.
Oh, that poor man. They're totally taking advantage of him.
So, okay, now this next part I don't have a picture of, because I couldn't even think of looking for a picture of this, but
let's try to describe it,
He says, now, ladies and gentlemen, he says, I want to give you a warning, especially to the ladies who think that they have it under control. He says, this next little show we call it Nature's Mistakes. And he says, what you're about to see are the horrible things that have been thrust upon human beings since the beginning of time. None of them live very long. And he opens up the curtain, and basically you've got babies in jars.
I'm doing a sanity roll.
Fetuses, yeah, you can do a sanity roll on this one.
And I get it on the dot, but I'm going to still take some sanity loss.
They're fetuses. They're some of them are deformed. Some of them are labeled. Some of them are not. They look. If you've ever seen scientific specimens, that's basically what you're looking at. But do me a spot hidden roll. You can all do it.
Okay. What happens if I fail sand? How much sand do I lose?
You can just lose 1 or 2 points. So roll a 4-sided dice and then.
I lost 4 and I passed, but I passed
2.
I passed the spot hidden.
For the spot hidden, I rolled my smallest number.
Would you roll 1 or 0?
I failed.
No, my spot hidden is 11, and that's what I rolled.
Oh, good.
I mean my smallest number is.
Well, what I want, those who passed, you are just, they're disgusting, just completely disgusting. But there's that sort of like, you can't look away. There's just, oh my God, that these deformed children were actually born, and most of them didn't survive. But what you notice is that one of them is labeled, and it's labeled Donnie Dunlock, and there's a town. It says Dunwich.
Dunlock, L-O-C-K.
I'm assuming he's gonna relay that to us.
Yeah.
I'm actually turned away from it. Yeah, the babies are affecting me right now. So
I think I'll keep it to myself until. Me personally, will keep it to myself until we get out of here. Seeing as we don't.
Write it down.
I failed to explain what that particular one looks like. It's probably the most hideous of all of them. It's the body of it is quite deformed. It actually has like vestigial bat wings, what look like bat wings. There seem to be things coming out of its face. It's got long fingernail claws on one of its hands. It's hideously deformed. There's even like a tail.
Can I roll natural world?
Sure.
Okay.
Tom, I'm doing another sanity roll, and I failed that. So
It's just 1 or 2.
I got a 79. I failed again.
Okay. Well, you don't think there's anything in the natural world that looks like, except some horrible, hideous, deformed thing. All right.
I think Michael's just isn't even like considering that any of this is real. Like, I mean, in his head, he's just chalked all of the fetuses up to being like props of some sort.
Yeah, with my role, can I determine whether or not that's real biological stuff, or is it just fake?
You have no reason. Well, if you have a medical, you can roll medical.
Let me see what I got. I don't think I have it. Nope. Nope.
Well, you don't see any sutures or anything.
Okay.
And you can't think, like, for instance, like the bat wing stuff on there. It doesn't look like a bat's wing. It sort of looks like a deformed body part that sort of looks like it. It's got skin stretched. It's probably just a real deformed infant that was born.
Stuff. With that, I can still tell, because, like, I don't know if this was before or after the mermaid thing. Yeah.
The other thing is, if you have Cthulhu Mythos, go ahead and roll it.
Okay.
None of you have much.
I got 9.
I got a 10. Okay.
Nope.
Go back. Hold on, I'll roll that again because I rolled 2 10s. So hold on.
Well, I got a 10, which means that. Oh, no. I have a 10. I have a 15. I got rolled a 15.
Okay. So did anybody pass?
I did.
I did. I got a 5.
Ooh, wow.
Jeez.
Who was that?
Michael.
Oh, okay, Michael. You aren't completely surprised because you know some really frickin' weird stuff comes out of Dunwich. It's got a high reputation for bizarre, strange, deformed people and
babies. Deformed babies.
Yeah. Okay. So we're partway through the show. There's still stuff to go. But you can certainly understand why I don't want to find pictures of fetuses. Put them on the screen.
I see that Lenore's upset, and I'll kind of open my jacket pocket and show her my flask and just give her like a look.
Okay.
I'll take it. No, she takes it.
Does Michael see that?
I'm trying to do it on the sly, so.
Okay.
It's for medicinal purposes.
Exactly.
As the curtain closes on that one, Michael, while kind of a skeptic, is still kind of a man of faith in his own thing. He kind of gives the sign of the cross and like whispers a small prayer as they move on to the other one. Like, my God, like, what is this crap?
Okay. The next 2 accents where the fish will be together. The first one is the amazing Sulami, the Snake Man, followed by the Wolf Man. So you see them one after the other.
Okay.
Sulami, of course, sort of dances around with the snakes and kisses them and lets their tongue touch him, and I don't know how the women feel about that. And then, of course, the Wolf Man, that's his real hair. He just seems to be very, very hairy. And he growls and snarls at you, but you really know that he's probably just a guy.
Yeah.
And of course the snake guy pretends to be all mysterious and stuff, that he's got the snakes memorized, but he's just a guy.
When we get to the Wolfman, Michael makes a quip about him looking like his brother's ex-wife or something.
What follows next is Miriam the Painted Lady. And she is tattooed all over. And she is discreetly covered, of course, in certain parts. But this has sort of like a little special show for 5 cents more. Miriam will step behind a curtain, and those who wish to pay can go around behind the curtain and see some of her more intimate tattoos.
I gotta see this.
All right, fine. Let's do it.
And he's like, well, now, ladies, I'm sure you don't really want to see anything like that.
No, give me some ideas for Jeremy.
All right, so it's exactly what you think. You go back there, and she does not completely naked, but you do see her breasts, and you see her butt, and you see she's got like a G-string on. And she is tattooed everywhere.
Anything special about the tattoos?
Not really. Flowers, butterflies, birds. She's like an exotic garden.
Okay.
Now, when she's done, I also don't have a picture for this one, but once again, O'Dowd warns you, ladies. This time he also warns the men. He said, our next exhibit is the horror from the South Pacific. And he tells this story. He says, this wild man was found on the beach of a deserted island, and he was completely crazy, and he attacked the sailors who tried to rescue him, and eventually they subdued him and they brought him back to civilization, but they've never been able to do anything with him. He's completely mad, he's completely insane. And he opens up the curtain, and what you've got a cage, and this man is in there. Now, he's wearing tatters of clothes, but he's obviously, he's wild-eyed, and his hair is matted, and his teeth are rotted out, and he's obviously, he's got blood on him and probably excrement, and he growls and he snarls at you, and he shakes the bars of the cage, and while you're kind of staring at him, O'Dowd steps around the corner behind the curtain, and then he comes back out, and he's got a live chicken in his hand. And he tosses the live chicken into the cage, and the wild man tears its head off with his teeth and drinks the blood. And I want y'all to do both a sanity roll and a constitution roll.
This is for sanity.
Okay, so 10% you pass.
I just make it. And this is for constitution.
I got a 0.
Which I don't make. I actually critically fail.
I got a 100. Yeah. 0, 0, 0.
Yep, that's a critical fail.
Okay, totally failed the contract.
Pass.
Okay, Jacqueline.
Yes.
Oh, I didn't get to say. I passed the Constitution, but I failed the sanity check.
Okay. If you fail the sanity check, take 2 points of damage. Okay.
Like damage?
I'm sorry?
Sand damage.
You drop 2 points of sanity.
Yeah.
Which really amounts to you going, oh. You're affected by what you've seen.
I think it's 5 points where you start getting crazy.
Well, that's when I get to take over.
Yeah.
That's when I get to tell you what you're going to do. But Jacqueline, you're 00.
Yes.
You pass out. You go, oh, like this, and you start to fall. Anybody going to grab her?
I'm gonna roll my eyes.
I will. I'll grab her.
All right. Go ahead and do a dex roll.
28. That's not bad.
Okay, you grabbed her. before she hit the ground. And of course, people stare at Jacqueline, and O'Dowd closes the curtains, and he's like, I did warn you.
Somebody splashes water on my head, wakes me up.
O'Dowd already has a glass of water ready and a wet towel to wipe your face. And after a couple of seconds, you come around, and you're really shocked that you actually passed out. You're kind of embarrassed.
Well, what happened?
You really play-by-play of what happened, or can we just think you passed out and we're moving on past this? Don't worry, they don't let you hit the ground.
Oh, they better not let that beast out of his cage.
Jeff, Paul, I'd like you to do your psychology roll.
Yeah, just I failed my constitution by a little bit. And that last one I think is going to really affect my character the most, because I see and realize that he's suffering mentally. Psychology 57. That's a fail. I have a 40.
Okay. But what's your impression? You're pretty sure your impression is correct, that he's probably just a really unfortunate individual.
Mm-hmm.
He's obviously not a South Seas Islander or anything like that, but you feel very sorry for this person.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So you guys are getting ready to leave the sideshow, and O'Dowd says, we have one thing more to show you, but it'll cost you a little extra if you want to see it. This is our most phenomenal wonder. He says it'll cost you 10 cents more if you want to see it.
I've already pledged 5 cents to see a naked woman. I'll go and raise it by 10.
All right.
Yeah, I'll take it a dime, and I guess, do I hand it to O'Dowd? Is that what's going on? And I hand it to him, and I say, this better be worth 10 cents.
Okay.
Hey, how about 5 cents?
No negotiations. 10 cents or you can go.
I give him 10 cents.
There's actually quite a few of the hecklers and stuff like that are like, bah. It's all faked, and they leave. So it's really just you guys.
Okay.
You step up on. He has you come up onto the stage because there's sort of baffled curtains so that he's got this part a little more private. And when you step through, what there is.
Echo.
Hearing people talking.
Yeah.
It's an echo. Okay, you step through, and there is it looks like half a barrel, except that it's much bigger. It's a water tank. I'd say it's about 7 feet across. It's set up on the stage. The top of it has a structure made out of chicken wire going up and over. And just as you come around the corner, you hear something splash in the water. And O'Dowd sort of walks around to the back side of it, and he's like, "Come on, you little rascal." And he gets like a broom handle, and he starts poking down into the water. And what suddenly comes to the top, and it's trying to get away from him, so it actually moves towards you, and it grabs a hold of the chicken wire, is this. Now, this is the only illustration I had. It's really like half an illustration, but the fish boy. And it looks like it's about the size of a small human child, maybe almost an infant. It has flippers, it has gills, its skin is kind of bluish green, it has big eyes. as it's out of the water, it sort of is gasping for breath. And
Sanity.
yeah, go ahead. Do sanity. Whatever it is, it's hideously deformed.
No, I got a 90. Jeez.
87 I failed.
What am I rolling for?
Sanity.
I know. I mean, I failed it, so it's
just 1 or 2 points.
Okay.
Should those who have Cthulhu Mythos make a Cthulhu Mythos check?
You may.
Yep.
Oh, I feel the hot streak come up. I got 3.
14. I was literally like 6 off. Did anyone else make that?
I did. I made it. I got a 3.
Okay, so then I'm not gonna spend luck.
Oh.
Okay. I'll get to that in just a second. What O'Dowd says is that this creature was recently captured by a fisherman in Gloucester, which is a town in Massachusetts on the coast. In reality, it's actually the town that probably Innsmouth was modeled after. But he says it was captured by a fisherman from Gloucester, and it was given to sold to the carnival. And he says it's probably their most amazing thing. But you can tell a couple of things without even rolling. One is it's afraid of doubt because he's poking at it with that stick. And you can't help but get over the fact that it looks like a baby.
Mm.
Okay. It's weird looking. It's very weird looking.
How long are we talking to this guy one-on-one, or?
You can say whatever you want.
How long have you had him?
He says, "Oh well, we're just starting this exhibit. We've had it a couple of days now, and he really wants you to go now because you're done. He wants to start the next show. So, but if you go and ask some questions, as he's ushering you out."
Can it talk? Can it talk?
Can't talk.
It's not talking.
No, I asked O'Dowd, can it talk?
I've never heard it say anything.
Was there anything I gathered from the Cthulhu Mythos rule?
Yeah, you think distinctly that it has what would look like the advanced stages of the Innsmouth look. It looks like maybe the mythologies about the fish people that live off the coast of Massachusetts.
Would I know anything about the normal advances of the fish people?
No, what you know is mostly rumors, and you have seen people from Innsmouth that have the strange the long mouths.
Yeah. So I don't know anything about the length of time it takes to turn into one. Okay.
No, you don't know any of the details of that.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Tom.
So he's ushered you out of the tent, and you're back with the children laughing and singing, and people eating their popcorn and their cotton candy, and it's now we'll say it's about 6 o'clock, about an hour before the ring show.
I turn back to Paul and I ask, can I get a bit of that medicine, a little bit more of that medicine, as I'm looking at these children running around and playing?
Yeah, Jackie's kind of like shaking a little after that. Does anybody have a drink, please?
Also, let me say that what I said to Tom is, it's Tom. Just you guys don't realize any of that, unless he wants to share it with you.
Right.
I'm not going to say no, but I'll remind you that we're in Prohibition.
Yeah.
Maybe,
somewhere, in a corner somewhere, but yeah.
So I'll just hand you the flask and let you put it in your purse or something like that. And you
Okay.
Well, they're passing the flask about. I'm gonna go and get something to eat.
Okay.
Okay, I grab the thing out of her hand and take a chug and then put it back in her purse because I need some after that shit.
Well, you don't want to do that out in the open. I mean, like, this is sort of out of character, but this is the Prohibition era. And
Oh yeah, that's true.
So that's the reason why we're gonna.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I forgot.
And that's why Michael is walking away from what's going on. I mean,
Yeah.
he is a retired police officer.
I would like
It's this drink after this.
you to do a spot hidden though.
Me?
Yeah, all of you.
God damn it!
Orange dice.
I got another triple.
Actually, I made that. Okay.
I failed that 91 really badly. Oh,
So I got a 17, and my middle one is a 27. So I got under that, but I didn't get under all.
Okay.
So.
So Michael McManus, you notice something. You guys are still standing near where you were. You're kind of in between Alejandro's tent and O'Dowd's tent, near the restrooms. You notice 3 men in trench coats and hats that they kind of blend, but they kind of stand out in a crowd just because they're dressed like it would be raining. You see them going into O'Dowd's tent.
I'm gonna
And it just seems a little odd to you.
I'm gonna kind of like motion towards the men going towards the tent, and are they going towards where we just came out or the original entrance?
They're going in where you guys came out from.
Okay. I'm gonna kind of like follow, I guess, just to kind of see what they're up to. Not trying to look real suspicious or anything like that. I'll fly casual if you catch my drift.
I think I have a better idea. Does anybody have a trench coat or something? I'll go disguise myself as a man like I usually do.
Yeah, nobody's walking around carrying a trench coat in their purse. So,
Do these guys look like Pinkertons?
what do you mean? It's Pinkerton.
Like
I don't
not necessarily secret service.
Oh, okay. I can't hear if you guys are if 2 people are talking. What did you say, Wayne?
No, they're kind of like police officers in a way, but
No, they don't look like police officers. But you can't really see them. You can just see that they're. Well, you didn't really see them.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I mean,
Michael
but he did. Okay.
Is there anybody else that would be in there, like any kind of workers or anything?
Not that you saw, just the people who are the exhibits.
Okay. Maybe I can go and disguise myself as a bearded lady and then go in there.
Yeah, no.
Somebody shave their pubes for me. I'm putting on my face looking jackass.
All right, so Michael, what are you doing? You're trying to get close to the tent, or?
Yeah, I'm just gonna casually I'm gonna watch them go in, and then I'll casually follow afterwards. Not in a rush or anything like that. I mean, Michael, walks with a cane even though he doesn't need it, so he's gonna pretend like maybe he needs to sit down or something like that if he get noticed.
Well, there's no place to sit down in there, but before you go inside, do a listen roll for me.
Okay. Man, I'm rolling good today. I got a 13 in my listen. So again, I didn't get the smallest number, but I got lower than the second smallest.
You did good. Okay. What you hear is a conversation that Okay, and you can tell they're like right inside that a couple of them are right inside the door, or just beyond the curtain, which is why you can probably hear so well. But you don't want to walk in. If you walked in, they're right there. So you hear somebody with a thick sort of Boston-esque accent, and it sounds to you like he's talking to O'Dowd, and he's offering him money. You think that you hear something like $1,500,
Oh shit.
and you can't really make out what's going on. You can't really make out what they're saying completely. You hear a few things because their voices get a little bit more heated. They start to get they're not just negotiating, but O'Dowd seems to be getting pissed. He's like, no, I'm not going to sell it to you. And after a few minutes, you can sort of sense movement that they're coming back towards the curtain, or the opening to the tent. So do you move out of the way, or?
No, actually, in fact, I'm going to position myself. Maybe take something out of my pocket, like I'm looking at it, like I'm getting money together, or the tickets or whatever.
Okay.
I'm going to position myself so if they like open it without paying attention, we kind of bump into each other, so I can get a glimpse of what they look like and see if there's anything interesting about them.
Okay. Well, that's more or less exactly what happens. It's obvious that they're upset about something and they're arguing, and the curtain gets flung back as the three of them are coming out. They're sort of storming their way out, and one of them literally crashes right into you. His shoulder hits you and almost knocks you off, and he actually reaches out and grabs you because it looked like you were going to fall. And he turns to you and he says, "Watch it, buddy," like this. And they walk away. Now, when he says, "Watch it, buddy," this guy definitely has the Innsmouth look. The mouth is. Okay. And they then immediately, you can see them walking straight towards the exit of the circus.
I walk back over to the group and I kind of tell them what just happened. So I was standing over there and those guys came back out. I heard them arguing with Dowell about I think the fish boy. They're trying to buy it from him. Next thing I know, they're coming out, and as you saw, we collided. I got a good look at one of them. And there looks like there could be some family resemblance between the fish boy and one of those guys.
Oh, maybe we should go talk to him. He could be in trouble.
I mean, they didn't seem too friendly, but I mean, we can go check it out.
It's best to leave the con man alone.
No, I'm talking about the guy who we were just talking to before. The freak show guy. I can't remember what his name is, our character.
Dowell,
yeah.
O'Dowd.
We should go talk to him. He could be in danger.
Dots.
Sorry. Yeah.
Well, before anything else happens, you see Dots. He also throws the curtain sort of back, and he looks out at them walking away, and he's really pissed. And he just immediately storms away, and you can see that he's going towards what was called the menagerie, where the animals are, but he's probably heading to the personnel area. And he's going. I mean, he's not stopping. He's going. He's not taking his time. He's going because he's. and you hear him sort of mumble. What does he mumble? He says, you know, he's obviously cussing, and he's like, those sons of bitches think they're gonna buy one of my exhibits. They're out of their fucking mind, you know. And he's going. So.
After he leaves, I want to duck back into the tent, and you go see where the fish boy was in his exhibit.
Well, as he's leaving, you see like the wolf man, who just sort of closes the curtains behind him. So you know the wolf man's right there.
Okay, well maybe let's follow this guy and see what he's about to do.
Can I use... Okay, because I've had this skill, okay, and I want to use it, so can I use disguise check to blend into the crowd so that he doesn't notice me following him?
That's stuff.
That's more stealth. But the thing is that you don't have any ability right now to do a disguise. You need to have a disguise.
Prep time is what you're saying.
Right. It's not like a magical skill. It's just, you know.
Well, I mean, you were saying before there's people walking around all over the place.
There's you already blend in because you just look like somebody at the fair.
Okay. I have that skill and I want to use it.
You also know that the ring show is going to begin soon because they're letting people in to have a seat. I just want to say that.
Let's head to the ring show. We've got our intel, but let's see if there's anything else strange going on here.
Okay. You all agree?
Sounds like a plan.
Yeah,
Mike,
I'll see anything better to do.
Okay. Maybe we can get through the ring show before we stop.
Unless we want to just play rigged games.
All right. So, let's see. You go in and you find some seats. The ring show. By the way, you also notice that straight across, if once again you kind of look at your maps, that there's what they call the menagerie, and on one side, on the left side, you had the horse stables, and there were also two rather large cages. One obviously had a lion in it, and one was farther away, and you couldn't quite see what was in that. But it says on your map, you do have a map, it says Gorgo the Ape. So, you go into the ring show and you find your seats and everybody starts to quiet down, and it's 7 o'clock. A spotlight comes on, and ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, and welcome to the Nichols Carnival. And there's music. There's like a little band sitting there, and they're playing music. And Ted Nichols comes out in his top hat and his sparkly sequins all over, and they begin the show. And it's typical of a circus. You got music accompanying it, and there's oohs and ahs. The first guy that comes out is the Great Bonham. He's a stilt walker. And he's a stilt walker, and he comes out, and he walks around the crowd, and he's got a bottle, and it looks like he's drinking, and he keeps doing these things where he's almost going to fall on the audience, but he catches himself, and you realize it's all part of the act. Then what follows that is the Libertini brothers. They're three young guys. They look like they're obviously brothers. And they do sort of their juggling acrobatics and stuff like that, and it's and amazing. And the third act is Gorgo, the fearsome ape, and he's really just a chimpanzee. They bring out the cage, and the ringmaster himself goes in there, and it looks for a moment like Gorgo is going to attack him, and they wrestle around for a second, and then of course it's all just for fun.
Yeah, because if he really wanted to, that ape could just rip his head off.
Then what follows after that is the Daffy Clowns. They come out and they're dancing around the audience, and they're doing pranks, and they're pulling pranks on the ringmaster, and it looks like, you know, he's going to get hit with a pie, and it backfires and hits one of the other guys, and these are the same clowns, by the way, that you saw walking around outside, selling balloons and stuff like that. And then what follows is a rather spectacular show with the fabulous Farley steeds. There's 2 horses, and the horses come out all by themselves first, and they circle the ring, and then a man and 2 women. The man and one of the women look about the same age, and then the younger girl looks like she's in her late teens, maybe. And they put on this show with the horses, which is really rather spectacular, riding on their backs, standing, doing flips and stuff like that. And they are the Farley family. And then what comes next is a large black man dressed like a witch doctor comes out, and they tell the story that he's also from the South Seas, and that he was they get all their stuff mixed up, that he's a voodoo king, and he does this sort of wild man dance around, and he's got a spear, and he dances with the spear. But as he's doing that, and he's sort of, lunging at the audience and stuff like that, and making wild man noises, they bring out this big target. And from all the way across the ring, he suddenly turns and he throws that spear, and it goes bang right in the center of that target. And he does this more than once. He goes over and takes it and does his little sort of acrobatic dance, and then throws the spear again, and it lands. He's a really good aim with that spear. And then he leaves, and of course the music changes when he came out. It's playing kind of like an African drum beat. And he leaves, and then they erect a kind of a fence or a cage that it comes out of the ring itself, so that the animal can't get to you. And they bring out Marco the lion, and the lion tamer comes out there, and he's got a whip and a chair, and the lion roars at him, and he, ha, like this, and he gets the lion to get up on a platform and balance and stand on its haunches. And then there's a moment when it looks like the lion's going to attack him, but then it almost, the cat reverts to almost being like a big pussy cat. And the show ends with the trainer, doing the classic, putting his head in the mouth of the lion, and everybody applauds and everybody claps, and that's more or less the end of the show. And it's
apparently,
taken,
according to the picture, he was giving the lion a kiss.
Yeah, well, whatever. you get what pictures you can, but
yeah.
All in all, this has taken about 2 hours. So it's a good show. It was a good, solid show with lots of entertainment and stuff. But you guys can't get out of your head the stuff that you've seen in the Freak Show. Mm-hmm. It is, though, about 9 o'clock at night. And
circus is closing in, 2 hours?
2 hours, right. Yeah. But at this point, now that this show is over, people are starting to leave,
Yeah.
They've been here most of the day, so they're leaving, but there's still people hanging out. So what would you like to do for the next 10 minutes before the game ends for tonight?
Well, I say that we hang around to see if anything strange goes on, besides what we've seen earlier, but if there's any other things that might be strange, but we could disguise ourselves by trying to actually win a QB prize.
You can do that if you want. Lenore,
Yes.
Do a spot hidden roll for me.
Should I do it on this dice roller thing here, or should I do? No, I should have done it a regular one. I missed that.
I'll also say Paul Smithson. You do one too. You're the psychologist. So, actually, also Mikey, you can do one too.
Regular success.
I rolled a 2, so that would be a critical success.
Jeff, I'm gonna give that one to Mike because
Yeah.
You look over and you're close enough to still to the freak show tent. You look over and you're pretty sure that, well, actually you're dead sure that one of the Miskatonic University professors is over there. Professor Jacob Hardy. You've talked to him before. He's from the biology department at the Miskatonic University. When you sort of focus in on him, it's about that time that Paul, you notice him looking, and you look over there, and you're like, oh, isn't that Professor Hardy?
I'm gonna get up and kind of start heading his way. See if I can pick up what he's doing, or if he's talking to somebody, that type of thing.
Okay. Well, he doesn't seem to be talking to anybody, but he looks, I don't know, it's like he's lurking around, you know. He doesn't look like he should be standing there, but he's sort of looking. I'll see if he notices you coming towards him.
I was about to say, because if he doesn't, I'm about to go, hey, Professor.
He does. Rolled a 15, so he looks over and he sees you coming, and he's like, Michael, is that you?
And I say, Professor, how are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you doing? Have you been enjoying yourself at the carnival?
Yeah, you could call it enjoyment. I call it perverse entertainment, but whatever. And
perverse entertainment. So you've been to the freak show, huh?
Yes, and I give him a strong handshake, and what brings you out here, Professor? I thought a man of your intellect might not.
Well, I had one of the other professors at the university was here yesterday, and he told me about the freak show, and I was kind of curious. I wanted to see if there was actually anything really unusual.
I say, well, let me just say, at the end of the show, it's worth the 10 cents to see that.
I saw it. I saw the fish boy. You know, I'm seriously thinking about seeing if I can obtain that fish boy. If it's what I think that it might be. You know, there's a lot of rumors here in New England about mermaids and fish people living off the coast. It's like, if that was, I'm a biologist, so I'd really like to study it. Feed it and take care of it, and
I overheard something earlier today, and I don't think it's for sale, Professor.
Well, depends probably on it. Everything is for sale if you can get enough money, but I'm seriously thinking that they're really mistreating these poor unfortunate people, and that thing looks like it's practically an infant.
Could I psychoanalyze him to see if he's lying to me?
Sure. Not psychoanalysis, just use psychology.
Yes, psychoanalysis is for healing sanity, isn't it?
Well, no, not really, but it's lay down on the couch. And
it was reading them. I guess I misunderstood it.
What did you get?
I rolled, it didn't show. 1 second. I passed.
Okay. No, he seems genuinely interested in this thing,
I meant more
probably
about
from a
his,
biological point of view.
I meant more about his intentions. He's
Hmm.
like, he keeps talking about how they're mistreating it and how he would feed it and blah, 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 blah.
Well, he seems like if he's a scientist, so he would take care of it, and he would try to make its environment comfortable in order to study it. That sounds reasonable.
Well, Professor, hopefully it works out better for you than the other guys.
He's like, so you've seen other people trying to get a hold of it? Probably rival circuses probably would like it too.
I mean, these people looked like they might have had a family resemblance, if you catch my drift, Professor.
Really?
Yes. And they were shelling out some heavy cash for him. I believe they said 1,500.
Wow.
So, like I said, hopefully you have a better chance than they did. But I definitely agree with you that whatever it is or isn't does not look like it's being treated very well at all. I mean, he practically had to beat it with a stick to get it to come out of wherever it was hiding.
That distresses me. That distresses me a great deal.
Me as well. I don't take kindly to bullies, and I definitely don't take kindly to bullies picking on things much smaller than them that don't deserve it.
He seems immediately kind of distracted, like he's thinking. And he's like,
Got something on your mind?
well, I really think that something should be done.
What exactly could be done?
Well, I mean, if we can.
What are you suggesting? I mean, are you suggesting going in there and taking the kid?
Well, that's perhaps not possible. That I don't want to break the law, but I'm going to at least try. I'll see what I can do. See if I can raise some money.
Maybe you should try finding his the other people trying to purchase it.
Yeah, well, if what you say is true, I'm not sure that I want to deal with anybody from Innsmouth.
Yeah.
That's a dangerous place. But in any case, it was very interesting talking to you, and perhaps if you hear anything, you can contact me back at Miskatonic.
Yeah, of course. I would. I'll keep you informed. I might have to charge you my going rate, though. I say jokingly, and I slap him on the shoulder.
So he says, "Good evening," and he leaves. And why don't we call it there?
Okay, that sounds good.
Unless you guys have one more thing you want to add before.
Can I just, while that's going on, can I just run over to the games and just blow some money here?
Sure.
Okay, what kind of games they got?
Well, we got ring toss, basketball, baseball throw, penny pitch, shooting gallery, wheel of fortune, skee ball, and lasso a duck.
Wheel of Fortune.
Okay. You lose.
Rigged.
Yeah. That's it, and it costs like 2 cents, so
Yeah.
it doesn't sound like much to us, but that's money.
My character's a writer. She's got money.
So anyways, we'll come back to that point. You guys will still be there. It'll be about it'll be getting towards closing time when we come back next time.
Okay.
Does that sound reasonable?
Yes.
Okay. So we'll end the episode there. Our players tonight included Mikey Haddon, Thomas McKeon, Eric Meisner, Jeff Wilkins, and Wayne Worthy, with yours truly as the keeper of the secrets. Our musical intro, entitled Act 2 Tenebrious Brothers Carnival, was written by Kevin MacLeod and is licensed under a Creative Commons Attribution license. Our games are played using traditional tabletop methods with music and sound effects added in post-production in order to create a richer listener experience. This is Tom Rayleigh inviting you to journey with us once again into the darkness for another adventure into the universe of H.P. Lovecraft and the Call of Cthulhu role-playing game. Until next time, good luck and good gaming.